Welcome back, you guys, to another episode of A Million and One Stories. We are your lovely co-hosts. My name is Sierra. We have Leticia and Stacy here today. So we're going to just go ahead and get into the nitty gritty. It's about that time. We are 2 years into the pandemic, post-pandemic, whatever they want to call it, which means a lot of us are either having to return to the office, implement hybrid working, telework, and then reporting to the office, or just trying to figure out if we're going to work remotely or telework altogether or just go in altogether. So we're just trying to figure it out. And today we want to talk about it because I don't know about y'all, but I've been blessed to have done going into the office at the start of the pandemic, then because I was told that my job, couldn't work from home. Then we did teleworking. Then I did remote work. So I want to see what you guys think. Like, how do you guys feel? Are your jobs asking you guys to return to the office? Like, what are your thoughts? 2 years post-pandemic, different work environment. Let's get into it.
Man, shoot, I've been back to work. Shit. I wish I had like a time machine where I could just rewind. Like 2020, 2021, where I was at home chilling, you know what I mean? Because to be honest, I felt like it was a blessing. I mean, we kind of hit on this in our earlier video, but being able to work from home gave me an opportunity to spend more time with my kids. I saw what they were learning in school. I saw how they were learning it in school. And I made sure that if there was a need as far as they weren't understanding something, I made sure that I did my best. I strived to close those gaps. I made sure that if my children needed support, whether it was a tutor, whether it was, maybe like a one-on-one support, making sure that I'm reaching out to the teacher. I feel like I became a better parent because, I'm really like looking to see, okay, what's your grades? Okay, are you actually doing your work? Are you paying attention to the teacher? Are you in your room and actually looking at the screen and not playing with a bunch of toys? And I made sure, I gave them those brain breaks, and I made sure, but I say that to say, it made me even a better person. I feel like being able to stay home, I didn't have to expel so much of my positive energy. I feel like, we all have energy, whether it's good or bad. Mm-hmm. And, we have to recharge, and when you're drained, sometimes you just feel like you don't want to move. And I know, especially for me, when the weekend hit and it's Saturday, don't call me. Don't do nothing. Don't call me nothing in the morning. Okay. Yeah. I'm sleep. All right. The only person who could disturb me is my baby. And that's because, she needs that help. But I'm trying to sleep in to recharge. Like, sometimes I want to go out. I want to party. I want to do this, but it takes a lot. And I feel like with the remote jobs, I feel like it opened my eyes to realize I need to spend more time with my family. I need to be more mindful. I need to be more careful of what kind of energy I'm putting out there. Because now that I'm back at work, so many different people that work there, like hundreds of staff. And it's like, you want to make sure that not necessarily that you're getting along with everyone, but that you're able to, I guess, coexist or be able to be professional. Because let me tell you, there's so much drama at my job. Drama for real. Like, dang, I should have left us at home. You know what I mean? And even with the way the weather has changed, right? It's getting hot, it's nice. Tell me why these people still ain't put the AC on. Now, if I was at home, I would have my fans, my AC, the windows.
Let them know.
But like, hello, do you want me to pass out at work? Because then that's workman's comp, and you don't want to mess with me with that, because you know what I'm saying, I'm staying out for the rest of the year. Okay. So that's my whole thing. It's like, if people are able to work from home, like, isn't that like saving more of your overhead expenses? You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to pay for the office, pay for the Wi-Fi, pay, you know what I'm saying? Like, people
it depends some jobs, because you got to pay for the equipment if the company issues the technology so you can work from home. But I think it does minimize some costs, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, I can understand too, like sometimes it's better for the in-person communication because sometimes, you know, communication can get lost and people may not understand what you're saying. You know, you may be sending an email and you'd be like, did this girl just send this to me? Like, does she know what she's talking to? But in reality, that person probably didn't even send it like that. Probably just wrote it and didn't really understand, oh, maybe I should change this, or probably didn't proofread. And so I do believe that in-person work, you know, the experience is a little better, especially for school, you know, with kids, you know, they need that interaction. They need some people are, they learn better with like hands-on. So they need that experience. But for me, if I was the boss, me, it would have been remote. Okay, like, where the remote at?
You are crazy.
I love it. Hey, listen, be true to yourself, okay? I don't know, for me, right now we're doing hybrid. So it's, you know, it was fully remote and now it's like in person some days and then online some days, which I kind of like because, it kind of makes you go back out. You know what I mean? You meet some other people, but I do agree with what you said, Stacey, everything that you touched on as far as like being able to be mindful when you're home, be with your family, be with your children, get to learn what they're doing, even just like just for your brain cells, just be able to like relax yourselves. It's like, okay, my work is from like, let's say 9 to 5. I'm not saying that that's the job time only, but let's say you work from 9 to 5. And, once 9 hits, it's like you shut everybody down, you focusing on your job. When 5 comes, you just shut the computer down and you fully vested in home, right? And so you just focus on your home and focus on what you want to do. If you just want to roll over the couch and sleep, then you can do that. So it's not like you got to worry about traffic. You got to worry about, going home and then have to cook and then have to clean. By the time you actually get to your location and do all these things, you're like exhausted. And I remember when I used to do it all the time, by the time I got home, it was so late. I didn't really want to see things for my, I didn't like when my kids said, I have this homework. I'm like, oh my God. I don't even want to read anything else. Like, I don't want to look at any other paper. I don't want to sign anything else. Like, you know what I mean? It wasn't because I don't want to, but it's because like I'm tired. And you mentioned energy, and energy is really what we thrive on. It's actually what we really move forward with. If your energy is really, really depleted, then you can't move forward in a positive way because you're just seeking to find energy somewhere else so you can actually fulfill whatever you have in front of you. And most of the time, we don't even take that in consideration. And I'm not talking about us per se, but I'm saying in general, when we're dealing with other people, we don't take things like that in consideration because we're just assuming, well, if I want you to do something, I want you to do it now. As a leader, we might be like, oh, I want you to do it now. But you're not thinking, well, wait a minute. This person has been here all day. It's already past this time. That person might not be able to, send you an email that's like a mindful email, like, oh, dear John, hope this email finds you well. It's probably going to be like, dear John, here are the documents that you requested. You know what I mean? Like, because you're like over it, so you want to think about how you want your people to come to work. So right now, at this stage right now, I don't mind a hybrid, but I'm not going to lie. I was 100% for the remote work. Because I love me some remote work. Yep. I saw my kids in and out. I was able to help them with whatever I needed to help them with. One thing I am appreciative of, and we talked about this in previous videos, was being able, like you said, Stacey, getting to just get to know yourself, right? I was able to fully invest in myself so that I can really see that, oh, okay, I'm no longer happy with this, or I might be happier doing this, or I'm no longer inviting this type of energy or that energy. You know what I mean? So I have really worked on myself mentally, like not even on a funny level. Like, for me, I am grateful to God for me, for what he has brought. And I know that time during the pandemic has not been a wonderful time for everybody, but I really want to thank God because it has been like it's been an experience where I was like, okay, yeah, this situation doesn't look good, but I'm not the only one dealing with it.
Yeah.
Yes, this situation doesn't look good, but there's so many things I can learn from it. So with that being said, I have been grateful because I've been able to learn about my children. I've been able to learn with my children. I've been able to see things with my family members. I've been able to hear things that help me grow. So remote work, hybrid, telework, all of those things.
Yeah.
Thank you all. Really. Yeah, it's helped me grow.
See, my experience is a little bit different. We have two mothers and I'm single. I don't have any kids. So the transition, okay, let's backtrack. So at the start of the pandemic, I was still going to work, right? But, the work environment was a little bit different because it's COVID, it's spreading extremely fast. So everyone had to remain in their office. Like we had like legit, like everyone had a time to go to the break room for lunch, like because we were trying to minimize, just the spread of everything. People come in. Are you in? Okay, I'm coming in too. You know what I'm saying? And it was exciting because, we had that paper that had to authorize us to even drive during that time. So, it was just an exciting time. But for the work that I was doing, being in the office was like advantageous for me for the things that I was doing, right? And then, I got a new job and I started that job and it was 100% remote, right? So my old job, I knew everybody. We just, had to separate. This new job, I didn't know anyone. I'm starting. I can't meet anyone because we're in the pandemic. So everyone literally has to stay home. So it was just different. And I think having to make that adjustment from having to, like you said, Leticia, be in the 9 to 5 mode, you wake up, we literally spend half of our time driving to work, then at work, and then driving back home from work. So by the time we get home, we started off, it was dark, and we're getting back home, and it's still dark. You know what I'm saying? So having to adjust and change your mindset was a little bit different. And then we have a video coping during quarantine where I mentioned that, like, I had a friend who told me to utilize that time to, like, do my normal routine, right? If I wake up at 5, and I be on the road by 6, just do different things to still be in that mindset. But once you're home, it's a different work environment. So I was trying to create the same, okay, I'm gonna wake up, let me be productive, I'm gonna still be my jolly self. And I'm interacting with others that people I've never met. Never met them a day in my life. I could literally walk past them, they wouldn't even know it's me, right? So it's just different. And I feel like a lot of companies are recognizing how advantageous it is for remote work because the employees are happy, they have, flexibility. And then also you're in a conducive environment for yourself. Like we all work differently, right? So when you're at work, you can't bring home with you. You know what I'm saying? You really can't. So you have the ability to be in your own space, work at your own speed, and still, produce the same, product, I'll say, right? But it's still, for me, it's just different. Like now that I'm spoiled, I prefer remote work because clearly I can produce the same product, but I just feel like you still miss the human interaction. And when I would go into the office, that was the one thing. It was like, oh my gosh, like, is that you? Because remember, you guys, we're also wearing masks. So we were only seeing this much of everybody, just eyeballs. So, it was just, but you miss that. And I feel like that's one of the things that I do miss about being in the office space is just interacting with my colleagues, leadership, just fostering those work relationships and having to do that virtually. I feel like you have to go the extra mile. You know what I'm saying? Make sure every email is pleasant, every Teams Zoom meeting. Good morning, everyone. Like, welcome. You just have to go the extra mile because, you can lose a lot of your personality or things can be lost in translation, like virtually. But I don't know. I really didn't have to do telework, but I don't know. I really am spoiled now. So having to get up, traffic, I hate it. Like, what is traffic? I don't even know how to deal with traffic. Then work clothes. What are work clothes? Literally, this is what we see on camera. Okay. Like, I don't even have bottoms. I barely have tops. You know what I'm saying? Like, just that, just the nuances of literally having to go back into the 9 to 5 mode is just like, it sounds crazy. Like, you want me to get up and drive to work to do the job that I've been doing from home? Bob, no, I'm not. I don't know how to feel about that. Like, I can't do it. I don't know. But I know a lot of companies are providing the option to their employees, whether they want to do remote, whether they want to do telework, whether they want to come in, because a lot of people are not afforded the opportunity to have a safe home environment, you know what I'm saying? Or they might have things where they want to flee. So work can be their escape, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes people don't have anybody. So going to the office is a way for them to have that human, interaction. So everyone's dynamic or the living situation is a little bit different. So I definitely think providing the option to people is beneficial, so I'm curious to see where the chips will fall, because I know it's a lot of talk per se, but I don't know. We'll see, because we're still in the pandemic. So I don't know.
I agree. I think it should definitely be an option if possible. Like if this person can do their job at home, and this person has been working with you, they're an exceptional employee, I mean, definitely give it. A lot of women, are working in the workforce, and a lot of us, we have babies, right? And I think more companies need to be more mindful of that. I think Netflix is like a employer where they let the mothers work from home. Like they can be on maternity leave for like a year or something like that.
Nice.
So it's like more jobs should be doing that, because it's already a challenge being a parent, and that's already a job as well. So we get another job, that's 2 jobs, okay, right? That we have to give energy to. And I think more employers need to be mindful of that. Us parents, we want to be able to work too, but if we can't find affordable and exceptional daycare, I ain't about to go to work. I'm gonna be my baby, okay, and I'll find another way.
I love that. I don't mean to cut you off, but I want to say something right there where you said, more people are having babies, right? Which is true. A lot of people have been having babies, but the fact that this had happened, this is actually opening eyes to people to say, hey, even though you're a woman and you have all these different things, you could still work. You could still go in and out of the office and still be a parent. So they shouldn't look down on somebody who's pregnant and say, well, now that she's going to be off for like so and so months, so that's going to put a dent into the work system or the workflow. You know what I mean? So there's options. And another thing, I love that you said that being a parent is work. People don't realize that. Being a parent actually is one full-time job and half of a part-time job. So to say you working an hour, you working a full-time job and a half, that's being a parent. And then on top of that, you have a full-time job. That's like 2.5 jobs being a parent. So I love that. I always used to say that when my kids were little, when I used to go to school at the same time working, I used to be like, don't you sit here trying to because I literally have 2.5 jobs. Because I come here, I have to show up fully, be mindful. I work fully at home with my children, and then I have to come here, work fully here, and be present at every given time. And people don't realize, they just think, well, that's home. Some people who are not parent, because the reason I say some people is because there are some women who are not the parent in the house. They are fully the leader at their workplace, and their partners are parents, right? They are the main sole homeowner or home maker, right? But and if you really think about it, whoever the person is, the full parent, and then has to pick up and go and be a parent at work, and be a full-time worker, is never easy. But I just wanted to bring that forth because a lot of people just always minimize the fact that someone who stays home with children is nothing. But staying home with children it's a lot. It really is a lot. And it's more than the work that people can even imagine.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, let us know. Are you working remotely or are you back in person? And how are you feeling about that? Do you want more remote jobs or do you like the in-person situation? Do you like, hanging with your coworkers and, doing that drive back and forth to work?
Little coffee break. Oh my gosh, I missed those. Girl, we got coffee? Okay, girl, let's go. I miss those.
I know, right? But let us know in the comments below. Share your ideas, thoughts. We'd love to know what you're thinking. And definitely don't forget to subscribe. And join us again for another conversation of 1,000,001 Stories.
Yes.
And once again, I want to say, hey, love you to my lovely co-hosts, Letitia and Sierra. And we will see you next time.
Yes. Bye.
Peace.